The Chevrolet Bolt is back, and while it's not here for long, I'm really happy it's here because this is one of the most affordable EVs in Canada, and it doesn't make a lot of compromises, which is exactly what we need right now.
For more expert car reviews, don't forget to share our channel and subscribe so you can catch some of this and maybe even a little of that.
Speaking of subscribing, look at what we got! The AutoTrader YouTube channel has finally hit over 100,000 subscribers, and I want to thank you all so much for being here because we couldn't do this without you, so thank you! And here's to the next 100K. So, the Chevrolet Bolt was first discontinued in 2023, and although the one I'm driving today looks very similar to that one from 2023, Chevy has made a lot of improvements, so now the Bolt is better than ever, and they did a lot of work in the battery department. So first of all, there is a 65 kilowatt hour battery in here, and that's good to give you about 422 kilometers of estimated range. Chevy has also made a lot of improvements to the charging speed of the Bolt's battery. So it's 2.5 times faster than it used to be. So now it can charge at speeds of up to 150 kilowatts, which is fantastic. That's enough to get you from 10 to 80% in under half an hour in ideal conditions. The other upgrade it gets is that now it comes standard with an onboard charger that's capable of level 1 and level 2 charging, which is very convenient. And finally, this is the first Chevrolet EV to come standard with a Tesla-style NACS charging port. And that's really cool and convenient because that opens up access to a lot of Tesla's newer supercharging network. And that network is great, so I think that helps a lot. Now, driving-wise, it's mostly the same. I really enjoy driving this because it's just very simple and fuss-free. There's no red flags. The steering is nice and heavy and responsive. The regen braking is really great. So the old Chevy Bolt used to have a little paddle on the steering wheel where you can control the regen braking. It's not here anymore, but you can still do one pedal driving, and it's adjustable so you have 2 levels. High is much too aggressive for me, so I keep it in normal, and it's still strong enough that you can do one pedal driving, and the whole thing just comes together really nicely. Another thing I think you'll appreciate is the zippy acceleration. So you get about 220 horsepower and 169 pound-feet of torque, and that gives you instantaneous passing power. It's really zippy and fun. You know, it's not going to give you that violently quick EV acceleration that some electric vehicles have, but it's fine because what you get here is more than enough. The ride is smooth and comfortable. But more important than that, I really like how practical everything is. So in the trunk, there's about 450 something liters worth of space back there, and that expands to over 1,500 when you fold the rear seats flat. And there's also a really great hidden storage compartment under the trunk floor, which is really convenient to store charging cables and stuff like that, especially because there's no frunk. So I do appreciate the extra space back there. I also really love that Chevy did a really great job utilizing all of the space in here. So first of all, this car has a very small footprint, so it doesn't take a lot of space, and it's really easy to maneuver and park and stuff like that. But it's very tall, so that means you have a lot of headroom for even tall passengers as well, in the front and in the back, which is very impressive. And the legroom back there is also really good. Will Johnson, our video producer, is back there. He seems pretty comfortable. He hasn't been complaining yet, so I think that's really good news. And the other thing I like is how practical everything is in here. So there are a ton of cubbies and small item storage, and it's everywhere. Big cup holders. I love these adjustable cup holders because you can basically choose whatever size you want. You can put a phone or a bottle in there, no problem. I really wish that these cubbies were rubberized though, because right now it's just hard plastic, so stuff slides around when you're driving, which is kind of annoying. So I wish they would have put in a little bit more effort there. I really like the fact that this RS version has customizable ambient lighting. At nighttime, it's really nice, it gives the cabin a lot of light and a lot of life, and it helps distract from all the hard plastic they use in here, because unfortunately, there is a lot of hard plastic. Some other improvements I really appreciate are the new infotainment system. So it is a Google-based infotainment system, and that just means it's very user-friendly. However, I'm not a really big fan of how aggressively angled this touchscreen is. It makes it a little bit harder for me to reach while I'm driving. I also don't think it's the most responsive screen. You know, sometimes I tap and nothing happens, so I wish it was a little bit more sensitive. But the nice thing about having a Google OS system for this is that Google Maps is the native navigation system, and I love having Google Maps for an EV because it really helps with trip planning and finding chargers. So you can filter chargers by speed, availability, compatibility type, and even price. And if you plug in a fast charger as your destination, the car will precondition the battery for more efficient charging. And that's the kind of stuff I like to see. But there is a downside though. This Chevrolet Bolt does not come with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So to really get the best experience here, you have to log into all your accounts, log into your Google accounts, and like luckily you can download a whole bunch of apps through the Google Play Store, so you can get stuff like your Spotify and all that. You can access that through here, but you do have to sign in, which is a little bit annoying. But hopefully you do it once and you never have to think about it again, so it really shouldn't be that bad. I have always appreciated how user-friendly the Bolt is, and this one is very much the same thing. So I appreciate that there's a lot of physical controls and knobs for the climate control, and even the screen itself is pretty user-friendly. Like everything is organized in a way that is very logical, so it makes sense. The only thing that's a little bit awkward is this armrest right here is very tall to use as an armrest, so I end up knocking my elbow against it all the time, so I wish that was a little bit better. But in general, I like how fuss-free the Bolt is to drive. It's a very seamless experience for the most part, and I think they did a great job making sure everything was user-friendly. Some more good news is that all Bolts come standard with a ton of really great safety features. So everything you would expect at this price, you know, stuff like blind spot monitoring, there's lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, and stuff like that. But there are a lot of optional extras that you have to pay for that don't even come standard in this RS version. Some of those things are like a wireless charger that should be standard. You know, this big old moon roof is an extra charge. I like that this comes standard with the roof rails, which is really good if you're a skier or snowboarder or something like that, to install a rack up there. And that leads me to the pricing. So this is one of the most affordable EVs in Canada. You can get a base Chevrolet Bolt for just under $40,000, which is a great value. This RS version I'm driving is a little bit over $42,000, but with all the additional add-ons and the packages and stuff like that, it gets very, very close to $50,000, which is a little bit much. But don't be too scared because government incentives are back, and so that means you can get around $5,000 off that price as long as you don't option it up so much that it goes over that $50,000 threshold. And then like other random good news is that if you're a Costco member, you can get an additional $1,000 off. So that's a pretty cool perk. The other really interesting thing about this is that like Chevrolet knows it has a bit of a PR battle with the battery issues. So the warranty on the battery on this Bolt is really good. So it's 8 years or 160,000 kilometers on the battery propulsion system. So I think that should help give you guys a little bit of peace of mind if you were unsure about the Bolt's battery. So I am super happy that Chevy made so many improvements to the Bolt because it is better than it's ever been. And in my opinion, I think it's one of the best value EVs in Canada right now. So I'm pretty disappointed that it's going to be discontinued at the end of next year. I really wish it was around for longer. To recap, I love the Chevrolet Bolt's affordable pricing, practical interior, and excellent EV powertrain. The bad news is its limited availability, no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and lots of hard plastics inside. If you are waiting for an EV that is affordable and practical, the Chevy Bolt is an incredible option. It's got great range, it's easy to live with, and I love how practical the interior is. It's a real shame it won't be here for long.